we had that June 12th election in 1993, and this is where we are today. So again, congratulations, Nigeria. 25 years of unbroken democracy. First time in our history. It is worth celebrating, no matter what the situation has been. Chamberlain.
That sounds like someone sermonizing.
Chamberlain is just not sentimental at all.
So
let's take our time.
So today,
actually feel good about today.
Well, yeah, I mean, you should feel good about every day. For instance, today, yes, as we already brought to you, which is what will be happening a lot more today, is that match from the hierarchy, the military formations will be coming up today as part of what will be happening today. But today also, we're going to see the unveiling of the world's largest painting on canvas, everybody. So interestingly, they chose today, Democracy Day, to ensure that we savor those kinds of scenarios this morning. So it's something that we'll be looking to. So some of the images already coming through from the Eagle Square, where that activity will be happening this morning. But already, at the moment, the world's largest painting currently stands at, I think they say it measures about 17,000 square feet. So this one is going to outshine that one. In fact, they did tell us that 17,000 square feet is actually roughly an equivalent in size of about, look at that, 4 NBA regulation basketball courts for those NBA fans. I know there's quite a number of them. So
do you know what's going to be what's going to be on the face of the portrait?
Yes.
No, you don't want to tell us?
I need you to look out for it.
I don't know.
To expect it. I need you to just take it all in as it unfolds. You know how you want to watch a movie and you don't want someone to tell you about it so they don't kill your anticipation.
Okay.
That's a script I'm borrowing from this morning. I'm playing that script today. So that's what we expect, part of what will happen this morning, and should be interesting, I reckon. Okay, so that said, Ayo, go ahead and take us through the papers this morning.
Today is June 12, 2024, and as would be expected, Democracy Day leads the front pages of most of the dailies this morning. Let's begin with New Telegraph newspaper, which leads with June 12, remembering election that reshaped Nigeria. Look at the riders, key actors of poll annulment struggle for revalidation. Nigeria celebrates 31st anniversary. Tinubu marks second Democracy Day in office. Vows to protect citizens' rights, freedom, implores leaders to recommit to values of industry, transparency. Jonathan, Atiku, Masari, others proffer solutions to Nigeria's troubled democracy, worry about growing discontent among citizens. That's the lead of the New Telegraph newspaper this morning. The Nigerian Tribune, June 12 anniversary, Tinubu warns of internal threats to undermine democracy. Look at the writers. Hails Tribune, others for their sacrifices, notes reforms necessary to fix economy. Says executive bill coming soon on agreement with labor. Winner takes all politics inimical to unity. Justice, according to Jonathan, wants Tinubu to dilute politics of religion. Opposition's lack of capacity to unite threats to democracy. That's according to Atiku. June 12, solemn reminder. Reflection on Democracy Day in Nigeria. That's according to the Middle Belt Forum. Find the details of that on the inside pages, of course. Over 300 companies shut down, 380,000 jobs lost within 2 months. That's according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. Reps, CSOs, others lament impact of recent electricity tariff hike. As the lead of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Democracy Day, school attacks, abductions, funding shortfalls, others threaten collapse of educational system. That story is on page 10. Look at the rider. Education budget allocation slashed from 15 to 20% to 5.98% of national budget in 2024. That's according to a report. The Business Day newspaper this morning, Nigerian democracy at 25, exciting but frustrating journey. Find the details of that story on the inside pages of the paper this morning. Look at the front page of the Daily Times newspaper. Democracy Day. Security agencies mobilize officers against threats of mass protests. That story is on page 4 of Daily Times newspaper today. The Blueprint newspaper leads with Democracy at 25. I won't turn my back on you. Tinubu assures workers. Promises to forward national minimum wage bill to National Assembly. Pays tributes to MK Abiola, Kano, Yaradua, Rwani, others. The details are on the front page, continues on the inside pages. And right under the picture on the front page, we must embrace inclusivity for political justice, as according to former President Jonathan. The Vanguard newspaper, June 12, current challenges being used to impair democracy. That's according to Tinubu. And the writers say quite a lot. If you look on the front page, says it's time to build a nation where every voice is heard, citizens empowered. Democracy yet to deliver prosperity, liberty to Nigerians, according to Atiku. Adds unity among opposition parties, key to democracy's survival. PDP accuses APC of desecrating Abiola's legacy. Says Nigerians angry over hardship. Nigerians yet to enjoy basic amenities, according to ASU, telling the president and several other writers through that story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, hope betrayed at 31. Citizens in dire straits, still in search of democratic ideals or dividends. That story is on page 6 of the paper. Right under that graphic illustration, you find, I understand our economic difficulties. You don't. Atiku, others tell Tinubu. The Daily Independent newspaper, as we reform economy, I won't turn my back on citizens, according to Tinubu, says he understands the economic difficulties Nigerians face. His fine-tuning draft bill for minimum wage to National Assembly says Nigeria's democratic journey marked by trials, seeks $2.5 billion loan to execute Lagos Calabar Road, others. The details on page 29. Tinubu may reshuffle cabinet. That's how Daily Trust newspaper leaked this morning. Create new ministry. Some ministers to go. I'll send bill on minimum wage to National Assembly soon. That's according to the president. Find the details of that story on pages 4 and 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Those are the papers we have for you today.
While we are celebrating Nigeria's democracy at 25 and June 12, 31 years after, I'm looking right above the nameplate of the Vanguard newspaper. And why? Because among other things, one of the things that can help us to continually celebrate Nigeria at whatever age or whatever it is I want to celebrate in Nigeria is when businesses are doing well. It's not news that some organizations tend to be leaving the country while somehow, strangely, some others are coming back. But why are Nigerian startups struggling? That's what you will find right above the nameplate. In fact, the very, very first story right above the nameplate of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, why Nigerian startups are struggling. The details of it you will find on page 14. And the question you want to ask is, if we know why Nigerian startups are struggling, then what is the way out? Is it issue of finance? Is it issue of infrastructure? So many things have been adduced over time. You may find it interesting to read what you have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And it's a concern because Nigerian startups shouldn't be struggling if the infrastructure are strong enough to sustain them. If the foundations upon which these businesses are laid are doing well enough, Nigerian businesses, small businesses, startups shouldn't be struggling, especially when we have a bill, a law, a startup law that helps particularly fintechs to do very, very well in Nigeria. Are they also part of the people that are struggling, the businesses that are struggling in the country? Don't forget that about 70% of employment in Nigeria are being done by micro, small, and medium enterprises in the country. That said, and that's a global figure, something well above 50% of any employment age, any employment figures in any country, more than 50% of them are usually taken by micro, small, and medium enterprises irrespective of what the locations are. Now, factor that also into whether or not the struggling startups are going to survive when the new minimum wage kicks in. Labour says they are looking at 6 figures. The state governors are saying they can't. That's government saying they can't pay 6 figures. They can't even pay more than They can't even pay more than 57,000 naira, according to them. Will startups be able to pay? Will they also be able to survive and thrive in this very chaotic business environment that we find ourselves now? It's our reality. It stares us in the face. I don't think it is anything for us to shy away from. So since you are on holiday, you may pick up a copy of the Vanguard newspaper, Why Nigerian Startups Are Struggling. That story you'll find on page 14 this morning. It really is a concern. You want to check it out. That's my take this morning, Kayla and Chamberlain.
Indeed. I think what's standing out for me, of course, is from the Guardian newspaper, citizens in dire straits still in search of democratic ideals and dividends. Very instructive and very important for everybody in leadership to understand. And listening to the president today, yes, of course, we are having a different kind of president who talks, who says all the time that he understands. But those democratic dividends are non-negotiable. And those are some of the things that the Nigerian people would want to see. We understand as well. I mean, in many ways, on the part of governance, it's difficult. You're having to deal with a lot of rot, trying to fix things after a lot has happened. But we do still feel, as a people, that a lot of mistakes are still being made. And the dividends of democracy seem pretty far away from the Nigerian. And those are the issues. And I think the Guardian captures it very much on page 6 this morning. June 12th was a very important day in Nigeria's history. And watching what has happened all over the years, the sacrifices that were made on this day, the people who died because of this day, and watching our people develop and have to go through all of that trauma is not that far away. If you're in your 40s, if you're above 31, you witnessed it. You know, so it's not a distant trauma. What are we doing about that trauma? That's a topic for another day. But then as a people, the dividends of democracy, it's important, very important. We're still in dire straits, still looking for those dividends of democracy and still hoping that our government will deliver as they promise that they will.
Well, you know, quite a number of things stand out. Yes, the president has given a speech in terms of the expectations, says he wants to build a system where everybody's voice is heard, and part of that which we will look at. But there are some things that stand out, you know, economy, business, politics, a few things that the problems may seem huge. Yeah, they are huge, but not insurmountable, you know, because first is, if we get our leadership recruitment process right, goodness, that is going to go a long way in reducing all of this break back, the tension, the
can I tell you something?
Everybody wants to grab everything.
Someone said to me once, he said, Nigerians are great followers. Nigerians are great followers. All we need is good leadership. Everyone will fall in line. Do you remember when Buhari came into power and they started fixing all the street lights? For some reason, in this FCT that nobody used to obey traffic lights, everybody started getting in line because of the perception that a leader was coming in who was disciplined. That's how we are. If we get leadership, you are absolutely correct. The followership will fall in line. And
you know, even now that this current government is in place, I mean, yesterday I was speaking to the governor in Zamfara State, how he was talking about the results on ground about security can be a lot better. And then you also ask yourself the question, all of these policies that this government has put in place, yes, they would announce the policies, but his lieutenants are the ones that are supposed to come in and take all of those things. But are they doing that? I guess everybody can see that, as a matter of fact. But I would like to inform our viewers now, we'll just be switching over to the platform where speakers will be talking about issues that concern you, the country. Let's go over now to platform, coming to you live from Lagos. Okay, so
this is a live Channels television event.
Good morning and welcome to everyone. I must start by saying a special welcome to all Nigerians at home and abroad as we celebrate Democracy Day today. And today also marks 25 years, well, technically, officially, 1999, when Nigeria got her democracy again. So once again, to everyone, happy Democracy Day on what is a very special edition of the platform. If you're new to the platform, you're most welcome. And if you are old to the platform, you are also welcome. This is the 36th edition of the platform that has held and been organized by our convener, the senior pastor of the Covenant Nation, Pastor Boju Oyemade. And since 2007, we've had conversations on nation building, personal development, governance, entrepreneurship, and how to move our lives, our nation, and even our continent forward. My name is Boju Oyemade, and I'm so excited to welcome you once again. The theme of today's platform is close to what also we are celebrating today, democracy and the free market economy. This is the first time that we'll have a platform on the 12th of June, and Pastor thought it was necessary that we speak at such a time as this, as economies all around the world are indeed facing their own interesting and fair share of challenges. And with a plethora of speakers today, we're sure it's going to be an engaging, very insightful, always educative and transforming conversation. This is not the main event. The main event is starting in the hall soon, but here at the studio, as you can see, guests are arriving. And with me here, I'm going to be having some of our guests